Hey guys, BrickWizard59 here, and welcome back to a brand new LEGO Top 10 list video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 LEGO Star Wars clone troopers that need to be made. Now, for this list, of course, we're going to be taking a look at clone trooper legions, battalions, individual clone troopers, so ones of different names, and like different clone variants. So that's like scuba troopers, gunners, um, like drivers. So they're different variants. So those are kind of the three types of troopers that will be included in this list. And of course, for some of these, Lego has made a figure of it already, but it is in a different phase of the armor. So I will be specifying if the figure has to be a phase 1 trooper or a phase 2 trooper. And of course, these images that are seen here on the screen are actually from Clone Army Customs. I'll have a link to them down in the description below. So these are custom troopers not made by Lego. But anyways, now let's go ahead and get started with the list. So starting off at number 10, we have the Clone Snow Trooper. Now this was actually a very cool trooper. I know it was only seen in like a brief couple episodes or even actually one episode of the Clone Wars, which was the one on the I believe it was the one from the one where the chairman of Pandora goes and investigates the moon with Obi-Wan and Anakin, where we have those creatures. And these are just some pretty cool troopers. They have a really unique style of armor, which I think is really cool. So they'd be a cool little variant to have in Lego, as they've made various types of clone trooper variants, but this is one they've not made, so it'd be really cool to have these. And this can be used in a ton of awesome snow mocks. Many folks make awesome snow Clone Wars mocks, so these would be perfect in there. Plus, their armor is actually very similar to the clone Flame Trooper, so you can even add Flame Troopers to them and kind of switch them up and make them as if they're Flame Troopers. But this is just a really cool and unique outfit, and I think a lot of folks would actually be very interested to get this in LEGO. Alright, so starting off at number 9, we have the Clone Trooper Pilot. Now, yes, this is a bit more of a simple figure, but we haven't got a Phase 2 Clone Trooper pilot with yellow markings. Now, we did get this clone pilot in the 501st markings, but that kind of only is able to be used with 501st Troopers. So we need a Phase 2 just regular clone pilot. That's a very simple minifigure, and it's kind of surprising Lego hasn't made it yet with the yellow markings, but it'd just be a very useful figure because now many folks have transitioned into Phase 2 versions of Clone Wars mocks, so therefore this would be a bit of a great figure to put in the gunships, even pilot the ATTEs, tanks, whatever. So I think this is just a pretty straightforward figure, very simple yet very much necessary in many mocks and can be used by many people. So I think this is definitely a cool new trooper that needs to be made. Plus, I mean, Lego has again made the 501st variant, so all they need to do, they have the helmet mold. All they need to do is just recolor it and release it. And I think this would be a really cool figure to have. And moving on to number 8, we have the clone Scuba Trooper. Now this was also one that was seen in the Mon Calamari arc. Now yes, you might be wondering, this is kind of like unlikely that they might make it because of the fact it was very briefly seen. But if you look at the clone troopers they have made, like the 91st Elite Corps Commander, Commander Neo, he also was like really not at all even seen in the films or Clone Wars, yet they still made him. Even Commander Gree, he's like barely seen in like one Clone Wars episode, yet they made him. So I feel like even if the clones are seen in really like brief episodes, like one or two, I feel like still Lego has a chance of making them. But these guys are super awesome because of the helmets. So they can kind of take the Phase 1 helmet mold and kind of modify it. But this would be a great figure with maybe a bit of a new version of the armor and some cool flippers, as well as maybe even a new blaster mold. But this would be a really cool minifigure to get. Maybe even include Commander Monk, who is Kit Fisto's, who served with Kit Fisto in the Mon Calamari arc. So maybe even if not make a Phase Scuba Trooper, maybe make a version of Commander Monk. And moving on to number 7, we have the ATR driver. Now, the ATRT driver actually is seen in various different battalions, as I'm pretty sure there was a 501st version of him. There's again a 41st Elite Corps version of him. Um, yeah, so basically he can be made in different types, but the main thing is of course his helmet, so that's a pretty cool like new mold. But this would be a really good figure, especially this would have been perfect in the 2013 ATRT. Maybe include a 501st ATRT driver, that would have been awesome. Even in the Clone Turbo Tank from 2016, include a 41st Elite ATRT driver. This is just a cool figure that is a bit of a nice new figure in the collection. It can be very useful, of course, with different mocks and things. And I think he just looks really nice, has some great armor, great helmet mold, and that's why I would love to see him made in a LEGO minifigure. And at number 6, we have Commander Fox. Now, Commander Fox is actually on this list because he's a pretty interesting clone commander. Now, I was debating between him and Thorn, but Commander Fox has been seen in more episodes. And spoiler alert, Commander Thorn dies, so he's not really, even though he had a great last stand, I feel like not many folks really know much about him. But Commander Fox, on the other hand, would be a much more known minifigure. Plus, he was actually already released in like 2008, I want to say, in the Homing Spider Droid set. So they have made a figure of him in the past, and therefore I feel like, in a way, Lego would definitely go ahead and make a figure of this again. And this is actually again in the Phase 2 armor. Now this is such a cool figure. It has some really nice printing on the helmet and torso with like a lot of red, and I really like that. Plus, now that we have a ton of Shock Trooper variants, new Shock Trooper variant, we need a commander for it. So I feel like Fox, because Lego has made it in the past, they definitely have a better chance of making it now in the future. Plus, of course, his overall design. I really love the red printing. And he's seen in quite a few Clone Wars episodes, so in a way, I feel like Lego definitely should make him as a minifigure. Moving on to number 5, we have the Clone Commandos. So here I just have Gregor for reference, but this is a bit more of a broad spot. So just include some sort of Clone Commando, any of the different Clone Commandos. Because the main thing is of course the helmet. The helmet and torso are really cool, really unique, different versions, and Clone Commandos are seen throughout the Clone Wars. They're very well known, even though they've not made too many appearances in the Clone Wars. They're just very well known as clone troopers by many folks. I feel like it'd be a really cool, great figure to sell that would be selling very well. Of course, the armor looks really nice. I love the blue printing in the helmet. And just this would be a really cool figure. Again, you can include, for example, Gregor, maybe like just a regular set, maybe even a I don't know, new gunship in a few years, or Clone Commandos. They're actually figures that you can really include in any sort of Clone Wars set. They'd go well in any set. That's kind of why I feel like they should be included at number 5. And at number 4, we have the Galactic Marine. Now, this is actually a really cool figure. These were seen on the Battle of Megiddo with Ki-Adi-Mundi. And these are just really cool. Again, snow variants of troopers. But these are actually really cool, and I think these would go perfectly in a UTAT set, which I feel like Lego definitely will make in the near future, or at least in the future in general. But these are just really cool figures, and again, they have a Imperial Snowtrooper mold and minifigure pretty much ready, so they don't really need to make any new molds for this one. They just kind of need to recolor it. And I feel like that's relatively straightforward. So I feel like this is a figure Lego can easily make. Plus, it just looks really nice. And is again another one of those very widely known figures, even though it has a brief appearance in the films. And I think this once again would look great with a UTAT. So that is at number 4. And now on to the top 3. Starting off at number 3, we have Commander Bly. Now, Commander Bly once again is another one of those clones who is a very well-known clone. Many folks in the Lego community have kept on asking for him, and I hope they make this figure. Now, he is much more well-known than Commander Gree, so in that way, Lego Lego definitely can make this figure. There's really no loss to that. But this would just be a great figure to have. A very, in a way, he's actually quite a famous clone commander, even though he's briefly seen. And this again is will be in his Phase 2 armor. But this would be a great figure to have. You get nice new helmet printing. You can even include him in a bit of a Fallujah set, maybe with a brand new ATOT. But this is just a really cool figure, and this actually would probably be the first time LEGO would have a mold for micro binoculars, which would be super useful with many different figures. And again, that is at number 3. And now let's go ahead and get on to the top 2. Alright, and number 2 is actually a tie between Echo and 5. So yes, technically we do have 11 minifigures on this list. But these are such iconic minifigures in Star Wars in general, or clones in Star Wars in general, as they have been made and seen in so many Clone Wars episodes. And LEGO has made figures like, again, Gree and Neo, who have really not at all or barely been seen in the films and the TV show, yet they leave out minifigures like clones like Echo and Fives, who have been in tons of Clone Wars episodes, and they're actually truly iconic big names of the Clone Wars TV show. And I feel like they just have so much because we see these clones from the very beginning, from when they were regular just rookies to clones from the in the 501st, all the way to ARC troopers, and then of course to the end. And these are we really get to see the story of these clones, and so many of us actually now get a bit more of a personal connection to these guys, and so many of us actually know about them. And again, they've been in so many episodes, yet they haven't been made. So these would be great minifigures to make. They already have the ARC Trooper helmet mold made before, so that wouldn't be too hard. So really, there are no new parts needed in this minifigure. So I feel like basically all they need to do is just reprint the figure, and therefore I hope they really do make these, and that is why these two guys have hit at the number 2 spot. And at number 1, of course, is Commander Cody. Now he is again probably the most asked for clone trooper minifigure that LEGO needs to be made, like all time. As Commander Cody, I mean, he was a super popular figure in Phase 1 armor, and of course, so many people have been asking for him in his Phase 2 armor. Now, this is a figure that needs to be made. He has been again in various Clone Wars episodes, even the movies, and I think this is just a really awesome figure. He also has a lot of history. He's pretty popular among many fans, and I think this would be a great minifigure to have. Again, there really isn't any new molding needed. All you need to do is reprint it, and they release that buildable figure of him, which I kind of found like kind of annoying. I mean, Lego knows that this is such a figure so many people want, and they end up releasing a buildable figure and not the actual minifigure. But I feel like the buildable figure in a way was a bit of a hint that they will release this figure in the future. And I sure hope they do. But anyways, Commander Cody takes the number 1 spot. Alright, but there you go. Those are a look at my top 10 LEGO Clone Troopers that need to be made. Now, of course, these are once again my own opinions, and I'd love to hear what your guys' top 10, even top 3 Clone Troopers that you want to see made by LEGO. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, a thumbs up would be great if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe down below. But anyways, this is BrickWizard59. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. And I'll see you all next time.